going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day. There's a couple of things happening today. Obviously, Ravens in 1 hour, they're taking on the Arizona Cardinals, led by none other than former Raven Trace McSorley. But also, something I'm sure we will definitely be talking about. NFL 100 released, I don't know what number they went to. I think they went 50 to 30. Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson were in that range. So we'll probably be talking about those guys ranking. Mark Andrews 32, Lamar's 36. I haven't seen the video on Mark Andrews. I watched the one on Lamar and what people were saying, but we'll talk about kind of everything going on, I think. But Joshua, game in an hour. I want to just kind of hear your thoughts going into this game. What are you thinking?
I mean, everybody's trying to build up the storyline. We lose Marquise Hollywood Brown. Hollywood been talking, about how he didn't really feel a part of the team and how he felt like he didn't really play an intricate part in them winning in games. But I mean, in all honesty, Hollywood, I know you winning a lot of receptions and everything like that. I mean, any wide receiver would to get their stats up and get those accolades. But you did play a part in us winning a lot of games. So Don C, what's going on, man? It's glad to have you, man. I'm always a big fan of the profile pick. But we also get Max. We also get to play against Max Williams as well, former tight end of ours. So I mean, it's not a rivalry type of energy, but it's going to be a good game for sure. A lot of guys still fighting to be on this 53-man roster. I'm looking forward to see how those guys that we loved from the first game build and stack in this game today.
Yeah, we get to see, those guys that performed really well, Shamar Bridges, Isaiah Likely, I think we'll see Travis Jones as well. Not 100% sure on that one, but we also get to see the guys that maybe didn't perform to the level that we were hoping to, right? There were some undrafted wide receivers that it was like I thought they played well, right? I liked what I saw out of all the wide receivers, but I would love to see, a big play from Mekhi Polk, a big play from Jalen Moore or Benjamin Victor or any of those guys. And again, the health of the wide receivers is like up and down every week. So I don't know exactly who's playing. I know Slade Bolden was playing, a couple of practices ago. He had like a 70-yard reception. I want to say from Tyler Huntley in practice. So like maybe Slade Bolden is playing. When we start getting those tweets kind of closer to game time from Jeff Strebick and Jamison Hensley, we'll definitely bring them up. But all of those guys, I really want to see what they're bringing to the table. What are they going to be able to do? And this is the guy that I really want to watch, I think, the most. Anthony Brown.
I'm glad, what's that? Jones altitude. I'm glad he brought him up because I think that's going to be the most. We don't get a lot of conversation about that. I think everybody just sold on Snoop. Me personally, there may still be an opportunity for Snoop to get himself a starting job at a decent team. Maybe up I-95 and DC to the Commanders. I'm just saying it. Carson Wentz ain't doing but so much. They can do a little bit better with Snoop. He still have that dynamic energy, not as a Lamar Jackson, but Anthony Brown is more of he reminds me of a serviceable Josh Johnson. Good arm, pocket passer. He can get out when he needs to. He can read the defense well, and he can throw the deep ball. I mean, we saw when he threw it to Shamar. So, Engraven, thank you for the super chat. OG.
Appreciate you, Engraven. Thank you so much.
Greatly appreciated, man. But I definitely would love to see Anthony Brown and Jalen Moore and Shamar Bridges. I like those two. And I know throwing Demarcus Robinson. Is it Demarcus Robinson from Kansas City?
Yeah, Demarcus Robinson. Yes.
I don't know if he's going to play, but I know they threw him in the mix. I know he is a good number three wide receiver. I know Dev and Tyler and Tyler Wallace been a little banged up, and I mean this wide receiver room is it's overcrowded. So somebody today has to do something to separate themselves. In my opinion, Shamar Bridges is at the top of the undrafted guys right now. In my opinion.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with that. Like Shamar Bridges played so well. He did the exact thing that we were like, can he do it at this level?
Yep.
And he went out there, was like, can he make the contested catches? And he was just like, I felt like the first time he was targeted, it was just like, oh, yep, jump up, reception, touchdown. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Then we saw another one a little bit later, and it was like, oh, He's like, that is he? Okay,
It was like
okay.
a 30 or 41. Was it like 30 or 40? That second one he got.
Yeah, I want to say it was 27
Okay.
or 30 or right around there. It was like, oh,
Either way, he stretched the field.
exactly. Yeah.
That's what we're looking for in the offense in the passing game. We're looking for that field to be stretched out. It's too much real estate that we haven't used in so many games, and we gotta use all the field.
Yeah. And speaking of weapons, that this guy Dylan brought up Mekhi Polk. Mekhi Polk in college was like a 20-yard per reception type of wide receiver. Like this dude was just getting big plays over and over and over and over again. I want to see that because it was very underneath oriented in that first game. I want to see if the Ravens maybe give him an opportunity to go deep or to make a big play that maybe he wasn't able to make last year or last week. That's someone that I'm looking forward to potentially seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely talked about Mekhi Polk. Game one was surprised to see Benjamin Victor out there, but we all know what Benjamin Victor can bring to the table. He's very strong. He's not as athletic as a Jalen Moore or Shamar Bridges or even a Mekhi Polk, but he can move the chain as well. So that 6'4", 210, 205, that big body wide receiver. If Jalen Moore, Shamar Bridges, Mekhi Polk, if they show up today, we're looking at a dogfight come game one as far as who's going to be, our 6 wide receivers starting of the season.
Yeah, there's just so many battles going on right now. Mm-hmm. And Kimberly brings up, we will most definitely be talking about this at some point. Don't know exactly when. But yes, Justin Tucker, I want to say he's 94. I know he's in the 90s. I think he's 94. But then Mark Andrews, 32, and then Lamar Jackson, 36.
Yeah.
Those are all guys that are big-time players. And we will definitely talk about all those ratings. I'll talk about Lamar Jackson right now.
Let's get to it.
I think it is 100% fair to have him at 36. I have no problem with that. I expected him to be lower because it's based on what they did last season. That's how it's always been. Has been it because it's bloated on by the players. And it's like, hey, who were the 100 players last season? Who was the 100 best? That's how it's phrased to them. And so Lamar Jackson missed a good chunk of the season. And the fact that he was still even in the top 50, because remember last year, Marlon Humphrey wasn't in it last year.
Yeah.
A lot. Oh, man.
And
someone else wasn't in it as well that got hurt for the Ravens. And it was like, wow, why? And then you're like, oh, they were injured. That's how it works for how that all goes down. Is it goes purely based off of who was healthy the last season. If Lamar Jackson was healthy all year, he would have been higher. He would have been probably 20, 25. If the Ravens ended up getting the 1 seed, he'd probably be in the top 10. Because when he's healthy, he's, Tyrann Mathieu. I loved hearing Tyrann Mathieu talk about him.
Yeah.
He's the most dangerous man in the NFL with the football in his hands. That's what it is. So it's definitely going to be something to watch. Something that I'm very excited to see.
Yeah, being number 36, with the season that he played, and granted we was 8-1. Yes, he went down and everything, but still, he fought till he couldn't fight no more that whole season. So him being still in the top 50, he's still a respected player. But now if we come back fully healthy at 100%, make it to the playoffs, make a nice run, maybe even make it to the Super Bowl, I can see us with I'm gonna say about 7, 8 guys in that top 100 in the following year, because we do have many playmakers on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, that could be very fluid to us making a championship run. So it really starts with Lamar Jackson. I love the fact how he got in the presser, how he's willing to talk about making audibles, game adjustments. So year 5 is big, not only for him but for the organization. Period.
Yeah.
Granted, he still got Gregory Roman. They're gonna work it out, do it the best they can. But for him to still be at number 36 in this year's top 100, it's still a blessing. And we all know what Lamar could do. He's respected amongst the league, and everybody know, like, if you ask a defender today, who's the hardest QB to bring down? 9 times out of 10 it's going to be Lamar Jackson. So I mean, it's just that's just the effect he has on the game.
Yeah, I mean it's also the thing about these ratings is not every players don't get to watch every game. Obviously they get to watch a little bit. Obviously they play in the games. They have a great understanding of football, but I don't think when a guy like, I'll name a random person, I'll say Matthew Judon because I saw him in the Lamar Jackson video. Judon doesn't get down on the couch after he finishes game on Sunday and goes, let's watch every other game that happened today. He doesn't do that. He doesn't have time to do that. He studies film for the team that he's playing. Yep. He knows about his team. He knows about the previous teams he's played on. So when guys from other teams that just don't play against the Ravens or don't have the time to watch the Ravens, it makes it difficult because, judging players, they're like, I'm going to judge the guys that I go against the most because they're the ones that impress me the most. Exactly. And so, players in the AFC North, Tyrann Mathieu of the Chiefs, he's all like, I got to go against Lamar all the time. And it sucks. And you see that. You very rarely see a guy that never played against them that goes out and he's like, man, this dude's unbelievable. It's like, no, because he never played him. So unless you are on all the highlight reels, which Lamar was unable to do because he got injured, so he wasn't able to be on SportsCenter as much as he, typically is throughout the season, makes it harder for him to get rated a little bit higher. When you win MVP, everyone hears your name. When you go to the Super Bowl, everyone hears your name. So all those guys are going to get, rated high. Like Joe Burrow is going to be insanely high. Why? Because in the playoffs, because the voting isn't done during the regular season. It's not like the MVP. It's done in the off season.
Right.
So who did these guys watch most recently? They watched the Bengals. They watched the Rams, the 49ers, the Packers. They watched I apologize. I got to nominate people in my fantasy football draft. They watched the Chiefs and the Bills. They weren't watching the Ravens with Tyler Huntley. So it's just not on their mind. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. That's why, I think Mark Andrews, I'm fine with the 32 with Mark Andrews, and I think he's the best tight end in the NFL. But again, he does play tight end. So, I think there's multiple quarterbacks better at football than Mark Andrews. I think there's, edge rushers. I think there's linebackers. So, 32 I'm fine with. We'll see what tight ends are in front of him. That'll be the interesting thing. I don't know who's exactly behind him. I only really keep up with where the Ravens go. But once the full list is out, then I'll be able to look at it and be like, okay, this is who's in front and where people are ranked. But we can't really tell right now because we don't know who's in front of him.
I mean, honestly, that I'm not even gonna say that's a generous number. Mark Andrews deserved number 32 because he made a big surge before going to last season. I know we had a lot of conversations, whether we went live or recorded. We talked about we needed a big season out of Mark Andrews. We needed him to take that next step and being, a top 5 tight end. I mean, what did he do? He made himself a top 5 tight end. He put himself in the conversation. Personally, right now it's still Travis Kelce, maybe Darren Waller, and right now Mark Andrews. I feel like Mark Andrews has a stronger notch over George Kittle because George Kittle, he is an influx when it comes to his health. So, granted, and knock on wood, Mark Andrews have not had no serious injuries, and I'm praying that he stays healthy for the rest of his career. But he's even played, beating up and bruised and everything of that nature. And he's making the contested passes. He's running like a wide receiver. He's pulling out the Gronkowski type of moves. Aaron Hernandez, Jimmy Graham, just about, just to name some guys that really made themselves, efficient in the tight end game. So being at number 32, I love what Mark Andrews did to put himself in that conversation. And I feel like he's going to continue to build. I mean, we all know what Mark can do. He's one of the top receivers on this Ravens team. He has the best connection with Lamar Jackson right now. And, and I'm not going to say he's Lamar Jackson's safety net, but he definitely is the go-to guy. But with all these other young weapons coming that's going to be around Mark Andrews might have another big season. If everybody does their job and make themselves available and, show that they can be a threat in the offensive game, Mark Andrews will have another big season. I believe it.
Yeah, and we finally have players around Mark Andrews that I think are, I think Rashad Bateman is a very different player from Hollywood Brown, because Hollywood Brown, I'm a big fan of Hollywood Brown. I've been defending Hollywood Brown for a very long time, but his skill set, the teams are afraid of him going deep. Rashad Bateman, teams are afraid of him cooking the defender, like as a route runner.
Yeah.
So that causes more double teams in the short field. Now, they may double team Hollywood by putting a safety over the top, but they may have to double team by saying, hey, safety, you got to play low and you got to play outside. That allows for another player to potentially go over top. And it takes away a guy that's playing maybe in the box away from Mark Andrews. So I think those two are really going to help each other. It'll allow for maybe Isaiah Likely may take away guys in the middle. Like, we've already seen him moss some linebackers in the NFL already. So just a lot of different things that I think are going to happen. Don C already knows what's up. Appreciate it, Don C.
I know it. Come on now.
But like overall, I think it's going to be something that is going to be really exciting to watch, is how this offense works out, because there's just so many different possibilities. Who plays two? Is Shamar Bridges playing a role? Is Tylan Wallace getting a role? Because maybe he's, I still believe in Tylan Wallace because he hasn't been catching passes from Lamar. Lamar can throw the deep ball.
Yeah.
Tylan Wallace was drafted to make big plays. That's not Tyler Huntley's specialty. So, we're going to see. But in terms of tonight, Joshua, players that we haven't named,
okay,
who are you thinking? Oh, I guess never mind. Yolanda, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Yolanda. Let's talk about the score prediction for the game.
It's only 7-17, Yolanda. Give us a minute.
Score prediction for tonight's game, Ravens, Cardinals. What are you thinking? What are you thinking tonight?
I'm going 34-14 with the Ravens.
Okay.
We've always found young defensive guys, even veteran guys, come out there and play so hard. I mean, defense is something that we've been pushing. And the way they came out game one, I mean, hey, I'm gonna keep on talking about him. I wish my boy was in here. If he's not in the stream, I hope he's good and everything. Pat Silverman. I'm gonna talk about him. Malik Harrison, man. Malik Harrison was working. I feel like he's gonna step up on that.
Yeah.
Like I said, seeing Adolfo Way get out there, you might see a little bit of action in the game too. But we all got our eyes on the real big behemoth, the sleeper of the draft. Travis Jones, the way he keep on flowing and moving to the ball. So I mean, I definitely love the fact that our young guys are out there battling, and I'm looking forward to see what Kyle Hamilton brings out to this game too as well. I love what the offensive guys bringing. I know I wish Charlie Kolar was out there with Isaiah Likely, but when he gets his time to shine, he definitely will make himself available. But I'm looking forward to see what Anthony Brown brings to the table tonight, and I want to see how Tyler Beatty and Nick McCurry add to this rushing attack as well.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a little bit lower scoring. I think it's gonna be about 24-17.
Okay.
I think the Ravens, again, for some reason, actually not for some reason, there are plenty of reasons behind it. The Ravens force turnovers in the preseason.
Yeah,
like that is what they do.
Yeah.
And I think the Ravens probably get a big forced turnover at some point in this game, maybe a pick six. It feels like every preseason game, the Ravens struggle initially. Like they really struggle, unless like the starters play in the first quarter or whatever it is. But when the starters leave, they struggle. And then it's like, oh, we got an interception in good territory. We got a defensive touchdown. And it's like they take off. I think that happens again tonight. I think we get maybe a strip sack, in the first quarter that just starts this game and just keeps the momentum going. I think that's kind of what I'm expecting. And I think 24-14, late touchdown from 24-17, late touchdown from the Cardinals. Maybe late in the fourth quarter. It's kind of a blowout, I'm thinking, but late in the fourth quarter, they make it a little bit closer, making it a 7-point game. But I think it's going to be a big time win. And I see Yolanda says, I think we'll win too, but it might be closer than I'd like. But a win is a win. Exactly, Yolanda.
Ravens way. That's the Ravens way. If you ain't sitting at the edge of your seat, almost close to calling 911, about to be ready to go to Sinai, Mercy Hospital, maybe even Johns Hopkins, it's not a Ravens game, y'all. So nah. I mean, hey, if by all means, if it's like that, it's so big. I just want to see these young men fight because you got this game, and then you got next Saturday we play against the Commanders, and that's it. That's it. So you really got to bring it. You really got to bring it. These next 2 games, you really got to bring it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I got.
Ooh.
JH, you coming after our guy?
I'm talking spicy.
You coming after him, man?
Hey, listen, man. No, listen. Dalen Hayes is really just getting back, so you got to, give him a break. I feel like he makes the 53-man roster alone just off the strength of depth piece. But Mr. Moon, is it Moon number 51?
Moon, Jeremiah Moon, I believe.
I like what he was bringing to that outside edge as well. If he can set that edge a little stronger and fight out those tackles a little better, I feel like he can get on his 53-man roster while one of our guys are working back to get back healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Dalen Hayes, if he plays, obviously, it's just focusing on that technique. Is he getting pressure? Does he have to have 2 sacks to be good? No, I think, he's been a guy that's consistently been able to get pressure in the NFL, and that's something that I really appreciate.
I like that you bring up about pressure. One of our guys was out there working last night for the Commanders. I don't know if you heard about it.
Ooh, who? I don't know who's playing well.
Shaka
Tony was balling last night. Oh man,
he got there in the backfield. He pulled off Matt Corral's helmet, man. He got back there. He was working.
Oh, I love to hear that Shaka Tony is playing well. I love that guy. That dude was a monster at Penn State. I looked at him pre-draft more than I looked at Adafe.
Yeah, I know.
Is JAD Jalen Armour Davis? I was like, who's JAD? I don't know if he's returned to practice.
I think he has returned to practice.
Has he? Okay.
Darius is off the PUP. I think I saw Brandon Stevens even back a little bit. So I mean, if we see some of those guys, that'll be good as well.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know 100% sure, but if he's returned to practice, I would think he plays. So I hope so. Yeah.
I think this game is going to be on Fox tonight, so this is going to be national. So everybody don't have to worry about where to stream it.
Yeah, all of a sudden Isaiah Likely is going to be like a big time fantasy option for a lot of people. They're going to be like, wait a minute, this guy's a monster. But yeah, Bridges unlikely. I don't know if we'll see a massive game out of Bridges. Maybe we get like one good reception. I think Likely will play really well, but I think it's going to be another wide receiver that steps up. And I nominate Mekhi Polk. I think he's going to be the wide receiver tonight. The main one. I mean, all of the other ones I think will play solid, but
I mean, me personally, I do think if they have Shamar and Mekhi Polk both on the field at the same time, I actually like both of them. I actually like both of them showing out, but I think I'm gonna still rock with the little school guy. I'm gonna rock with the HBCU guy. I'm gonna say Shamar. He stacks up what he did last week, and he definitely has pull out a touchdown and move the chains. I think I want to say he's gonna have about 60 yards, three receptions.
Okay, I got no problem with that. I think that'll be a ton of fun to watch. I love watching Bridges. I see Dawson says 2 touchdowns for Bridges tonight. If he plays with Anthony Brown, yes, potentially. Problem is Snoop doesn't get a lot of touchdowns. It's very frustrating. The offense typically just kind of falls apart in the red zone because it just condenses that defense. But maybe he doesn't throw for a lot of touchdowns. He rushes for touchdowns. The running backs get touchdowns in the red zone, but wide receivers typically don't get a lot of touchdowns with Snoop. I see Travis Jones for 2 sacks. I would love that. I would love that. Let's see here. I love Dan Campbell. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of Dan Campbell. I think he's really annoying. Like, I have no problem with coaches that get really emotional. Like, I think that shows like a lot of pride and stuff. Yeah. But I swear, every single time I see this guy, he's crying. Every time. It's like for me personally, again, I don't care if you do that as a coach and you're vulnerable and you're really passionate. It's obviously he's very passionate,
right?
But it's like I feel like it loses its effect sometimes, right? Like when your coach, like when I was playing high school sports and your coach would like really start to get into it, like it took you that extra step. But when he does that every time, it's like, okay, it's not doing it anymore. It kind of loses its faith. Or, it loses my, motivation, hearing it and seeing it when you see that coach being vulnerable. But when it's like, every 4, 5, 6 weeks, you start to see that, you're like, oh, we got to pick it up. Like, we got to pick it up. But when you see it every week, every time he gives a speech, I just lose it. I'm like, okay, I've seen this before. And it's like, okay, I give up. So I kind of find him kind of, also he gets a ton of hype when he is horrendous in close games and close situations. So, which a lot of times comes down to the quarterback or comes down to the coaching is, close game management. And he massively struggles with that.
Right now, I like the coach out of Detroit. Detroit Lions coach. His analogies is crazy. I did caught a couple clips of the Hard Knocks.
I would definitely agree. I think Anthony Brown definitely plays at least 2 quarters tonight. And then we'll see what I hope he plays 3. I'm tired of watching Huntley. I think like the offense is so boring with Huntley. Like there's just nothing. Like I just watch it and I'm like,
to be honest, we know who our running backs are going to be. I mean, these games are really for, a QB2, and who's going to be on the roster in regards to wide receivers. So I definitely feel like these next 2 games we got to show our passing ability and how we want to stretch the field. So getting Anthony Brown in there 90% of the time, I feel like that would be the best way. But Tyler has to play in order, to make himself still a part of this fight for QB2 because we don't want him to be like Daniel Jones. Because I heard Daniel Jones may not even be the starter out there in New York. Tyrod, is your time to shine again, baby.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Ravens see. Yeah, this is kind of what I see. Is it's just like he plays super safe, and when you're a backup quarterback, that's fine. But there's a reason why we don't watch a lot of backup quarterback. Like some backup quarterbacks, they can come in and they're like electric, like Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like you bring in a gunslinger, and it's like, okay, he's going to win you the game or he's going to lose it for you. Huntley just kind of goes out there, and it's just like, okay. We get yards. We don't score a lot of touchdowns. We don't put up a lot of points, but the offense kind of works, but it's not explosive, and it's extremely boring and it's very predictable.
Yeah, second string quarterbacks, in my opinion, need to have that Willie Beeman effect. They knew they was that guy in college. Now they know they made it to the NFL. They're just waiting on that opportunity. And I feel like once your number gets called, you got to go out there and show out. If you got, if you got to vomit before your first snap, do what you got to do. Once you snap that ball, you got to show out. And right now, I feel like Tyler Huntley, I feel like he's coasting in the sense of like, hey, they trust me enough to run the offense that Lamar runs. I'm gonna just go off with my first instinct and just run the ball 9 times out of 10. If I see a wide receiver, I'm gonna try to make it. But 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna just make things happen. But yeah, Kimberly, I definitely think in regards to where we're trying to go in this offense, I feel like Anthony Brown is the better QB. Like I said, we saw him stretch the field. We want to see more of that. He has the patience to stay in the pocket. If he needs to evade defense, then he'll evade. But it's not a run. He's not on run first type of time. He's like, hey, let me go through my progressions. Let me see who's open. Let me make the throw. If not, then I'll make my read.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And Lisa, I definitely agree with this.
Yeah.
Adam, I don't think Hill has really any value as a trade piece. I don't think any team's like, oh, I really want Justice Hill. Yeah. And I really like Justice Hill. I think he's a really good special teamer. I think he's actually really improved, from recent seasons, in terms of his rushing abilities. So I do really like him. We'll see what he ends up doing, but I like Hill. I don't think he has much value. So I don't really see him getting traded. If anything, he would probably get cut and maybe a team picks him up. But I don't really see much value in other teams.
Yeah, he's a solid special team. He's not no intricate piece as a running back. I mean, if the Ravens feel like they have a strong running offense without Gus Edwards, maybe you can see if you can swing Gus to Philly. I don't know. I mean, as much as I love Gus, if we want to keep on building and keep on adding, to what we're trying to do, maybe he could be a potential trade piece to, a Philadelphia team that's ailing at the running back position.
Yeah. Now, in terms of guys that we're expecting to see tonight, what do you think? Is there a chance that we see the legend Tyree Phillips playing tackle? Because I don't want to see that. I hate it. Every time they throw him out there, it's like, what are you doing? Are you trying to injure our quarterback? Like it's like intentional. It's like they hate that guy.
Yo, he has a slow step at the outside. It's just not for him. It's sad that even we got our second and third string QB that not a lot of our offensive linemen are making a great push. I mean, granted, I did like what Falahi was bringing out. I did like what I saw at that right tackle. But there were still guys getting to the backfield. I mean,
yeah,
those in those trenches, that's the real dog fights. And as an offensive lineman, you have to take pride in protecting your QB. You have to take pride in open up the holes for your running backs. I mean, if a counter play or a trap play is called as an offensive guard, oh, that's my cue. That's my time to shine. Whoever's coming in that hole, I'm finna light that behind up. And you gotta live to that. Because once if you can carry, let's say, Richie Incognito, maybe one of the dirtiest offensive linemen, but damn it, he took pride in being one of the dirtiest, and he took pride in protecting you. Ryan Jensen, one of the most protective centers. If you hit his quarterback, he gonna come after you. You need that type as an offensive lineman. You need that type of energy. You need that type of aggression. Because as a defensive lineman, I'm looking to attack you. Your offensive linemen are looking to protect, so they're already on the defense. You're already giving up half a step when you take your pass pro step back. I mean kickback. So you had to engage, fight, hold them. A lot of times you really don't get called for the holes in the trenches. So I mean, you have to make yourself available, and you have to take pride in your job.
Yeah. We're gonna see. Maybe Isaiah Likely. How does Isaiah Likely do tonight with the holds? How many holds do we see from Isaiah Likely? I think the over/under is at 1.5, probably.
You know what? When I did see him initially get some blocks in, I did see him not really use his hands. So when it comes to blocking, I think he has to learn more how to use his hands because in little league, sometimes high school and college, a block, you usually taught to just throw your shoulder at him. If you can make that initial contact and make that that defender jump back and create some space for that for the ball carrier, then you did your job. But I feel like they're gonna want more out of Isaiah when it comes to blocking, like just sustaining the block, and just being a team player. If you gotta run down the field and just put your hand on somebody, do what you gotta do, player.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like we're gonna see, can he? I see Sirius is at least 2 holds. Like, can he keep his hands inside? Rod Whitson talked about it for about 45 minutes, every 30 minutes. Got to keep them hands inside. So, and Void, I saw you earlier said that you were going to run a preseason Madden game. So, and base your score prediction off of that. Now I see. I like it. I like what I'm seeing in that 15-7. I got no problems with that right there.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I see it. I'm watching. I'll be peeping out people's stream for the Madden 23. I see everybody using, Jimmy Ward as their safety, and like getting a pick with him and taking him to the crib. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah,
make it work though.
People hate the Ravens. People hate Notre Dame, but that's all I gotta say. Like they hate both schools. They're both two very polarizing, loved by their fan base, hated by everyone else. And people don't want the Ravens to succeed. Like they have Lamar Jackson, who's hated. And a lot of the people that hate, they're Bengals fans, they're Steelers fans, they're Chiefs fans, and they're Patriot fans. All rivals. It's very rare where you see someone and they're like an Eagles fan, and they're like, "You idiot! You drafted him." They're like, "No, he's a beast. We were trying to figure out if we wanted him or Jordan Davis. We like Jordan Davis a little bit better, but we like both of them."
Yeah.
So I think it's just like people are mad because bad is what they say.
I mean, Don, let's be real. Ravens Flock Nation is hard on us just as it is because me myself personally, I see my boy, NFL young boy George Pickens out there working in the yellow and gold. I mean, yellow and black. I don't like it, but hey, I respect this game. But when it comes time for us to play against them, I'm not gonna like them for those 2 hours. I ain't gonna like them for 2 hours, But I mean, that's what all the media is about. That's what fans do. Shots have some of the guys that follow us don't even like some of our takes. We gonna still talk about it.
I have no problems with Andrews being ranked 32. I have 0 problems. I know a lot of people are upset, but tight end isn't the most important position in the NFL. I think quarterback is more important. I think there are probably, 5 quarterbacks that I would take before I take Mark Andrews, in terms of overall skill. And none of those guys are Joe Burrow. I'm saying that right now. None of them are Justin Herbert either. But, I think there's just other players at other positions that are more valuable. I would take, probably 3 or 4 running backs. I would take, probably 4 or 5 edge rushers. So him at 32, while it may be far back, remember it's all positions, and I don't know what the other tight ends are ranked when the final rankings come out. Then we'll be able to see, where he's ranked as a tight end. He should be. I would assume he's number 1 or number 2 as a tight end. I don't know if Travis Kelce's been named, but he's definitely going to be top 3. If he's not top 3, then I'm going to be upset. But we don't know exactly who's in front of him. So,
yeah, I mean, I already said it before. For him to have the season that he did, he definitely earns to be number 32. I mean, with all the young weapons, if they come out and play together as a strong unit, he's gonna go from 32 to maybe in the top 20s. So I mean, this is just only the beginning for Mark Andrews. He had a great season last year, and I feel like he deserved to be in the top 50.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. This is very true because the Bengals and the Browns don't have any experience winning. I mean, that's why.
Factual.
They've been getting beat by the Ravens and the Steelers for the last 20 years. So whenever they finally have a good season, they get really confident. And then it starts to fall apart.
Yeah, I just want to say shout out to the 104 people that's in the stream right now before the game comes on. If you're not already subscribed to the TTB YouTube page, please go ahead and subscribe and turn your notifications on. And also, follow us on Twitter. We on TikTok as well.
Yeah, on TikTok at TTB Ravens.
We appreciate the love, man, for real. And this is just a pregame show. We appreciate it, for real.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys. And also, we're going to be doing a post-game show when the game ends, too. So if you're already in here, come here when the game ends. We'll be analyzing all the players and talk about any guys that you guys bring up, along the way. So, we're going to see what happens. But, what do we got? We got about 20 minutes before the show starts. Also, guys, I'm doing a fantasy football draft right now. If you guys want to see it, you guys can comment, and it's an auction draft, so it's still going on. But I'm working on my last couple of bench slots. So that's why I'm kind of looking over to the side. That's my second monitor. I'm bidding on players, okay? But I see, yeah, this is very true, T.O. I think a lot of people look at Patrick Queen and they're like, oh, man, this guy, he's terrible. He came in and he had very limited experience playing linebacker. It was very similar to Adafe. He's younger than Adafe. And he has like the same amount of football experience, I want to say, as Adafe, maybe a year more. He is someone that like can absolutely develop still and get better. So a lot of people give up on him way too early. I've been critical of him and saying like, hey, he needs to improve on this, but I've never been get him off the team. I really believe in him. I like, his attributes, his intangibles are very good. And I fully respect all of those things that he can bring to the table. So, we're going to see what he ends up doing, this year and the next couple of years, but a lot of different things going on. I see Aaron says Bateman playing tonight. I don't know if this is a question or a statement. If he is playing tonight, that would be fantastic. I would love that. Oh, I see the Ravens just tweeted him warming up. I don't know. The one thing I'll say, I don't know if that means, because a lot of guys warm up just to prepare themselves and get in, this is what happens during the season. A lot of times, like quarterbacks warm up. I hope Bateman plays.
But
I really do. We'll see. He is suited up, so I'm hoping he plays.
Maybe one possession. Maybe we'll see him out there.
Yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see it.
Yeah, I don't know about you. I'm glad that I'm just glad that football is back. I know high school football is started, especially down. I want to say down south. Yeah, I'm looking. If you guys, if my Baltimoreans, make sure y'all check out St. Francis Academy high school football team. They on the road. They're gonna be on the road to get to the Natty this year. They do got IMG on the calendar. I'm gonna try to go to that game, of course. I do feel like I don't know if they're gonna play Lamar Jackson school, but he is playing the South Florida team, down Florida. So I'm like,
okay. Okay. I see Don C. Appreciate it. Baltimore get up, guys. You guys want to hit that like button? It does really help out the stream. Just push it to a little bit more people. See if we can find any Cardinals fans to get in here, because sometimes fans of the other teams have shown up. It's always fun talking to them before the game.
So everybody in the chat right now, tell us, who are the guys y'all looking out for? What's some predictions that y'all want to see out of some of these young guys that y'all want to make the 53-man roster? Me personally, I want to see if Jalen Armour-Davis is playing. I do want to see what he does bring to the table. I hope Pepe Williams is in the slot. I want him to get that. I want him to get that pick 6 tonight for sure, because he's right there. He was right there. I want that for him. I want that for him.
Hope Lamar Jackson gets his contract deal done. Honestly, it doesn't matter if he gets the deal done before the season or at the end of the season, in my opinion. I just like I don't think it matters. And I don't care if we franchise tag him, because Lamar Jackson's going to play football no matter what. And the franchise tag pays someone as a top 5, I believe is the 5th highest paid person at that position. So he would be getting really good money. He would still want to play. I don't think it'll come to a franchise tag, but I don't have any problem with it. That's what, imagine Kirk Cousins played on the franchise tag, I believe, for 2 years, and then he got a fully guaranteed extension. It can work either way, and it was never any holdout situations or anything like that that people were getting upset about.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I would love for Lamar Jackson to, well, me personally, I would love Lamar Jackson to get more endorsement deals than his contract. I mean, endorsement deals is really where the money is, if we're being honest, and the guaranteed money. Um, I would still love him to be in the purple and black, but the thing is, he gave himself his timeline. If the contract does not get extended before the season starts, that's it for contract talk. We all locked in on football this season, and we'll deal with it when the off season comes. I mean, and that's the type of man that Lamar Jackson is. So I'm really not worried. I feel like Baltimore is home to him. I feel like yes, he can get more money out there in the market. There is going to be a lot of teams looking for top quarterback play, but the way he felt respected at Louisville, that they gave him a chance at QB. I feel like that's where the loyalty is going to keep him. That's the same reason the loyalty will keep him here because we respected him enough to draft him as a QB and not ask him to change his position.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think Lamar shows so much loyalty to everyone that supports him. He does not care if you don't support him. So, the Ravens have been very supportive of him. They've tried to give him whatever he wants. When he's vocal about it, we'll see. But I think he's someone that is going to be loyal. And I think, and I don't think the Ravens are going to give him like super below. Like, I don't think they're going to be giving him $30 million. I think they're giving him 40, 45, maybe $50 million. So maybe Lamar's looking for a longer term deal or a shorter term with more guarantees. That's, I think, what they're trying to figure out. It's probably very close, but overall, like, it doesn't matter because he's still playing. He's not sitting out by any means. So I don't mind if it happens. And what time is the game? The game is at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So it's in about 15 minutes. So, don't worry. We still got plenty of stuff to go through. And I've got one more pick remaining. I guess I got to go with the kicker in my fantasy draft. All right, guys, what kicker do I go after? Okay. Tucker's gone. Otherwise, it would be Tucker. I think, I could go with Butker, or I could go with Matt Prater in Arizona. Kind of like the butt kicker.
The name is just, it just gives it away.
Yeah, but then there's also like McManus in Denver. Evan McPherson is gone. Ooh, is Will Lutz there? Will Lutz might be available. Oh no, I got to make my selection. You know what? This is gonna be the highest scoring offense probably in the NFL. Let's go with McManus. Ooh, wait, no, Will Lutz is available. Going with Will Lutz. Good selection, Mr. Chief. I appreciate you. I thought about Prater, but Will Lutz plays in the dome. I know Prater also does, but Prater also misses a fair amount. Will Lutz is like number 3 in the all-time kick accuracy list. So I went with him. And I thought about Bass. The issue is playing in Buffalo, sometimes those wins get crazy. So even though they put up a lot of points, I think it's just really difficult. But my team is done. I can show you guys my team if you guys want to see it.
Yeah, you might as well, man.
Let's see here. Share screen. It's still in the draft menu, but we'll see. How does this look? So, okay, yeah. So here's my team. Hurts, Jefferson, Bateman, Taylor, Kelsey. I'm definitely top heavy with my top 3 players, but I really like them all. They can all be player number 1. And then Hurts, just the dual threat. And then I have off the bench, I've got Derek Carr, got Gus, Madison.
That was good. That was a good move. I like that.
Yeah, and then Will Lutz, and then I got 2 defenses so that they can always play bad teams. But that's it. Just showing on my team. That's my one redraft league that I joined. That's like I don't know anybody in. But Lisa, everyone's sick of it. Everyone is sick of it. It's so frustrating. It's ridiculous. That's what it is.
You know what? Shout out to RG3. Shout out to Steve Young. Shout out to everybody that knows a little bit about the game of football too, man.
Yeah,
I forgot who it was that was ranting this past week, but man, that was a terrible rant. That was a terrible rant. How can you say this young man don't know how to be a QB? That's a terrible rant.
it's insane. It is insane. I can feel that, Don C. I can feel that. Justin Tucker is the best kicker. That is very true. He's the best kicker ever. I'll take it a step further.
Ooh.
I will take it even a further step. Justin Tucker is the best person in the history of sports at their job. No one in the history of any sport is better at what they are asked to do than Justin Tucker.
Whoa.
No one.
All time,
any position. You can go Babe Ruth, you can go Pele, you can go Michael Jordan. Justin Tucker just goes out there and he's just like, I don't miss in the fourth quarter. I make more than anyone else, and I kick it farther than anyone else.
I mean, we gotta throw Usain Bolt and Michael Phelps in there.
Michael Phelps didn't win all golds. I'm just saying.
Okay, you gotta throw Usain in there. You gotta throw Usain.
Usain Bolt, yes, but he won 9 golds. However, one of them was taken away. He only won 8 golds because a teammate of his ended up cheating.
Okay.
He ended up. Okay, Void, this is slanderous right here. This is slanderous, man. This is slanderous. How come you going after my guy Ahmad Marshall?
Oh, did he? He hasn't even got picked up, has he?
I don't think so.
Damn. Yo. We gotta reach out to the guy, man. We gotta talk.
He can be our third host.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, that'd be dope.
All the slander in the chat, but most amount of points. I think it's Wayne Gretzky probably. Wayne Gretzky's got like 2,000.
Yeah.
Something points, because in hockey you get points for assist. It's 1 point for an assist, 3 for a goal, right? Something like that.
Something like that. I think like Sidney and Ovechkin, I wanted if Sidney hasn't retired, he was like getting close to Wayne.
But Joshua, we got about 8 minutes. Let's do what we always do before any show or any game.
Talk to me.
The hot takes. Game starts in 8 minutes, Kalen, and it's on Fox. But let's go. Let's start off with offensive hot take. What are you going with?
I got Anthony Brown going for 150 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Love it. I absolutely love that. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Makai Polk.
Talk to me.
Yeah, actually, it doesn't have to be Makai Polk. We're getting a 50-plus yard touchdown today.
They throwing it deep, stretching the field.
I think we get a bomb from Anthony Brown. I think we get a deep play over the top.
Wide receiver hit a corner with a double move.
I don't think it's double. I think it's just straight up speed. I think it's a 9 route or a deep post, and they just run by everyone else.
I like that too. All right. What you think about on defense then?
I'm saying 4 turnovers.
Okay.
I think 1 from Kyle Hamilton. I think we get an interception. I think we get 1 strip sack, and then we get 2 other interceptions. One's probably from Geno Stone, because that dude gets a preseason interception every game.
Hey, what we say? Right place, right time. Geno Stone for sure.
Every time. That is that dude's motto right there. He just knows where to be. And then, those are my take. What about you, Joshua? What's your defensive hot take?
I got us going crazy. I got us going for at least 3 sacks and 2 pick sixes.
Ooh, okay.
I think that young Doug, Pepe Williams going, he want that back. So, he want that old thing back. He want that ball in his hand. He want to take it to the crib. And I feel like Kyle Hamilton, he makes himself known to the NFL once again, and he pulls out the pick 6 and show him the real burners to the crib. That defensive line between Travis Jones, Dalen Hayes, and maybe even Jeremiah Moon. I think they all can get a stack apiece.
This is the hot take session. These are bold predictions.
Come on,
I think we've been right.
That's a hot take.
We got the Devin Duvernay. I think I predicted the Devin Duvernay kick return against the Kansas City Chiefs, and I got the score prediction right somehow. I somehow did both. I mean, in back-to-back years. But yeah, I mean, we like to have bold predictions. That's why it's called bold predictions.
I mean, damn, Phil, that's a hot take right there, player. Who's your team? Is your team Baltimore? Who you really root for? What's your hot take? Talk to me.
Yeah, Phil, let's hear Phil's hot take. Come on, Phil. Give it to us. Let's hear it.
Oh, man. Hey, listen. Y'all don't want y'all want me to edge McConnell on. McConnell, you feel me? When he ready to run, he'll run. He'll talk to you now. He'll talk to you.
Right. It's more like 15 turnovers. I love it, Baltimore. Get him. I love it.
Yeah. See? Come on now.
Pepe gets a pick six. Travis Jones and Dylan Hayes smash Arizona quarterbacks. I love that.
I like that. I like that.
I like it. He gets the reception on that, or the interception on that jumped route.
Yes, sir.
Hot take, Mike Davis goes crazy. I don't think Mike Davis plays a ton. I think he only plays a couple of drives. But maybe he has a great first 2 drives. I could see that.
But
I mean, Huntley's going to be out there, so they're going to be running the ball. I mean, that's how it works.
But Mike Davis did show what it means as a running back to block.
He traced me so early.
Oh man, we can't do Trace like
you know
that.
What I gotta say? He's great at throwing to Ravens. But I will say, if Hollywood is playing, that is an unbeatable connection. We talk about how Tyler Huntley and Hollywood is the worst connection between a quarterback and wide receiver ever. Trace McSorley and Hollywood were filthy together. It was like Trace McSorley comes in and it was just like, oh, Hollywood's about to go off for the rest of this game. It's always filthy. But guys, game starts in 3 minutes. I love this one, Aaron. I think Justin McCrary get a lot of reps, potentially. But Joshua, do you have anything final to say before we wrap up? And we'll be live right when the game ends, so don't worry. We'll be coming back.
Not much, man. I mean, thank you to the 114 people in the pregame stream. We're going to be back after the game is over. Make sure you subscribe, like, turn your notifications on, like us and follow us on Twitter. We will be talking amongst each other during the game as well. Phil, make sure you follow us because if our prediction does come right, hey, you got to come back. You got to come back and talk your talk and listen to us now. So, I appreciate all y'all, man. Love y'all, man, for real.
Yeah. Appreciate it, guys. 115 people in the stream. Thank you so much. YPC, Lamar's not playing, but thank you guys so much for coming through. Ton of fun. We'll be back when the game ends, and we'll see all of you again then.